Welcome back to Property Play. I'm your host, Elena Saradidis, and I brought the Queen of Cottage Country back, Alexis. We're going to talk all things buying, selling, and renting in cottage country. How about we start off with, if you're thinking of selling your cottage property, what are some things you should be thinking about?
So one of the big things is to have your septic pumped, as well as testing your water. You're also going to want to make sure that, just like any other property, like you do clean up and declutter and all of that. But I would say you definitely want to make sure that your well and your septic are good in good working order. And one of the big things too right now is having a generator. So yeah, if you want to increase the value of your property, adding a generator will really help.
Is the reason why it's a big thing now because of the storm that happened?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know what happened in cottage country, do you want to give them a little
I do. I would be happy to. It was like the most epic winter ever. Everybody's talking about it, even to this day, now that we're in the spring. I still am in shock. I'm like, things are green. I'm like, what? It started at the end of November and just carried on through for the whole entire season. We ran out of power the last week of November due to massive snowfall. And so people needed generators to keep their power on. And then, of course, the ice storm that just happened, which was also another really big one. I was out for 5 days. So we ended up going up north further where we have a generator. But yeah, having a generator right now is super important. And people really have that as top of mind.
Okay. And then what if we were buying? What would the process look like? Like if I'm a buyer and I'm talking to you about buying something in cottage country, what would you be asking me?
So first off, I start out by understanding what type of water you want to be on, right? So the Kawarthas are a little weedier. And then you've got the deep, dark Muskoka lakes, and then you've got Simcoe and Georgian Bay, which are big, open, clear, deep lakes. So that's really important in terms of figuring out where you want to be, because those specific pockets have very different types of water. So understanding that, proximity to the city is really important. People cast these really big nets and they're like, yeah, we'll go as far as Novar or Sprucedale, or we'll go way, way into, Halliburton. But you really need to be mindful of the fact that you have to do that drive. If you're going to the cottage and you're leaving to go for the weekend, you have to contend with traffic. You have to contend with, where are you getting your groceries and all that kind of stuff. So some people need to be closer to town. But I would say understanding the water is probably where I first start. And then, of course, do you want to rent it? Do you want to be in an area where Airbnb is available? Because there are some areas that are a little more challenging to rent in, like Ramera. Not only do you have a $3,000 fee to rent, but then we also have a bylaw. It's almost like a lottery system where it's proximity. Kawarthas are easy to rent an Airbnb, and Muskoka right now is undergoing the process of trying to create some more regulations.
Okay, that's good to know, because if you're planning to buy there and the rules change, you should probably know what your intention is before you buy there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very important.
And then where would you say is the most expensive pocket to be on waterfront, and where is the least expensive to be on waterfront?
So the big three, of course, in Muskoka are the most expensive. Rosso Joe, Lake Muskoka. And then I would say the more affordable places are in Kawarthas.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's primarily just due to the water. I mean, I grew up in the Kawarthas on a farm, so I know the lakes really well. And I'm very confident in speaking to pretty much all of the lakes, and they do just tend to be a bit more weedy than some of the other ones.
Okay. And then if you were looking to rent out a property, are there ones that are completely off limits? Like, I shouldn't be buying there if you're planning to rent because the regulations will prevent me from doing so.
So Oro, Oro is not typically somewhere where there's a ton of Airbnb. But Ramera is really challenging too. Just because if you don't fit the parameters around proximity, you're out of luck.
Okay, and where would you say is like a gold mine? Like if you were an investor, this is exactly where you would be buying.
So I would buy, honestly, right now in this moment, I would buy somewhere near Casino Rama, which is in Ramera. But if you could get in there and find a property that is eligible for Airbnb, I mean, the entertainment that's happening there is absolutely amazing. Like, I just went to see Zach Brown the other day, and it's just they're investing a lot in that area, that whole highway or Rama Road corridor. One of the owners of the airport sold and bought Geneva Park, which is on Lake Couchiching. And they're building out an entire resort community along the west shore, or that's the east shore of Lake Couchiching. And then, of course, Aurelia. Aurelia is amazing. Like, you know, having lived in the city for as many years as I have, and then to move there full time, I don't miss anything. We've got all the restaurants. We've got all the big box. We've got all the cute boutique shops. We've got, you know, we're wedged between Lake Simcoe and Lake Couchiching. So it's a really, really nice little city to be in. And I think value-wise, I think properties there are very much so going to increase because with the Highway 11 corridor, Toronto is moving to Barrie. Barrie's moving to Aurelia. Aurelia is moving to Gravenhurst. And it's just kind of following that natural path down Highway 11.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, does it play a role because it's closer to the city?
Absolutely.
Like, people don't want to drive very far out.
For sure.
For cottage. Are you finding there's an exact math to, like, if a city person is trying to buy a cottage, where, like, how far they're willing to go? Like, what are they asking for?
For sure. Well, like, I mean, look at Friday Harbor. It's 45 minutes to get to Innisfil from downtown. So that is a really popular pocket for downtown city buyers. But then, of course, you know, Aurelia is not that far from there, and you can find, you know, unique properties. We've got some incredible developments. So we've got Mariners Pier, which is townhomes on the water with your own private boat slip and a pool on the water. We've got Sunshine Harbor. We've got the Fresh development. So, like, there are a lot of really fun, cool projects that are happening on the water in Aurelia as well.
I'm not sure if you know this because I'm putting you on the spot right now. What's kind of the price range that those things are going for?
So you can get in for $600. Well, the Fresh lofts start at $600. Sunshine Harbor, if you're not right on the water, $800. On the water, $111, and then Mariners Pier, $111.
Okay.
So they're pretty reasonable if you think in the grand scheme of things. And the nice thing too is you can rent them.
And then you mentioned that you have an Airbnb up there, but what happens if you live in the city and you have an Airbnb up there?
I live up
How do you manage it?
I live up there and I still have a co-host. I use a company called Hello Co-host. Christina manages everything. She deals with the cleaners, the laundry, the maintenance, all of it. I mean, honestly, I would never, ever take on running an Airbnb by myself. It's way too much work. People think it's not.
And it's a lot of work.
It's so much
it's a lot.
work.
But I just think about it here in the city. Like, I have an Airbnb, and I know that here, if the cleaner messages me and they're like, we're out of XYZ, I Uber it to her. I'm like, don't even worry about it. You'll have detergent in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll have whatever in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's there before she's even done cleaning. So she places it. I can't even imagine if I need to change over. How would I manage running an Airbnb up there?
Well, I mean, fortunately for me, we're in Port Carling, so it's really close to town.
Yeah.
And if you need to run down or, you know, but it's more about planning, right? Like, we just make sure there's lots and lots of whatever we need to replenish in our storage room so that when they need something, it's there. And they usually send us lists in advance so that we know what we need to replace so that they don't run out. But no, I did. I ran my little Brecken cottage as an Airbnb by myself, and it was, you know, a tiny little space. So running a big Airbnb, whew, I can't even imagine. I literally can't imagine the cleaning and the laundry and all of it. I mean, the whole day just to do a turnaround.
Out of curiosity, how much is the company that you're using charging you to do this?
So I believe it's 20%.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting because we went up there over last weekend and we did, it's a short-term rental. It's not on Airbnb, but there's a company called Jane's Cottages.
Yes, of course.
Oh my God, the luxury.
I know. I know. So that's pretty much what Hello Co-host is.
Yeah.
But it's under a different umbrella. Jane's Cottages, you know, there's a very, very high-end cottages.
Okay, there's a concierge.
Yeah.
He texts me. He's like, I just want to welcome you to your stay. Is there anything you need during the stay? I was like, sure, we'd love to do yoga on the pier. He arranged it. We'd love a boat ride. He arranged it. I'm like, wait, we don't have to plan anything. You'll just take care of it?
That's so amazing.
You take care of everything.
They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came back, I called one of my clients and I was like, have you heard of it? Because you should be doing that at your place. Like, you have a nice cottage.
Yeah.
I'm like, they take care of it all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There's a luxury in being able to collect passive income
Definitely.
and not having to manage it.
Honestly, it's amazing. Like, and depending on the season, because we get people in the winter as well. Like, we rent it out for New Year's, we rent it out for Christmas, we rent it, like, you can do all season.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Once again, it's Elena Saradidis, and today I had the Queen of Cottage Country, Alexis, with me. Oh my God, I almost blanked on your name this time. Alexis with me. If you like content like this, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe.